Grand Rising lineage. What's going on? This is your brother Chief Kalinago, man. I know it's early. It's early, yes. And here's the thing, right? When I'm in the US, I always rise. It depends. It depends, but most times I rise about 10, 11 a.m., right? But being here in the islands, it's a different energy, it's a different feel. So then you have the roosters that start crowing about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the AM. So that is nature's way of saying, hey, it's time to rise. So I'm up. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to share a couple of things with you. And knowledge is always for the information that I bring is always for knowledge purposes, not educational purposes. Because you see, education comes from a colonized perspective, knowledge comes from within nature. Knowledge is part of your nature, education is part of your external nature, which is not internal, it's artificial. So, therefore, my purpose is to teach you about nature, teach you about yourself, teach you how to become the gods that you already are, but make you aware that you are the gods. You feel me? So, I'm going to share some information with you, and some of the information may or may not, if not all of the information, it may ignite what we call cognitive dissonance. Now, what is cognitive dissonance? I'm going to make an attempt to explain that without looking into a dictionary or looking online based on my knowledge. But cognitive dissonance is pretty much, I'm going to give you an example. When you have a foundation, all right, of a belief, and your belief is strongly rooted in whatever belief system it is, and someone comes with other information, be it true or false, it doesn't matter, but it challenges your belief system. And cognitive dissonance comes in when you find out the information, or you know the information is true, but the belief system in you is pushing against the knowledge that you're learning. And no matter what anyone shows you, you just cannot see it. Okay? That's an example of cognitive dissonance. So, a lot of the information, cognitive dissonance will kick in because cognitive dissonance is your enemy. It's your enemy. You feel me? It is actually a form of what you call Satan. Now, what is Satan? All Satan means is adversary. That's all it means. Once again, may I reiterate, Satan is not the spook that they told you about in religion, meaning that it is not a man with a pitchfork, with a red outfit, with long fangs and, horns and smoke coming out his nostrils. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in hell or standing in hell waiting for you to come in. No, that's not who Satan is, or that's not what Satan is. Satan simply means adversary. So, therefore, anything that's against anything can be Satan, be it good or bad. You feel me? So, with that being said, I'm going to teach you in this lesson about manifestation, about when you say your affirmations, what people call prayers. You see, me personally, I don't pray. Okay, the only if I do pray is because I want to pray on something or somebody. You see, there's times when you have to pray. You feel me? But you have to be very mindful when you use such terms or such words. Now, people may say, well, Chief, it's spelled differently. Hence the word spell. You see, you're casting a spell. All right. So that alone in itself should tell you something. So the spelling is not necessarily the key, opposed to the vibration and frequency of that word. So when you have pray, Prey, and pray, Pray, somebody may say it's different, but no. When people are praying for you and praying on you, that's exactly what it means. And it depends on the energy, right? Now, when a lion preys on another animal, trust me, that animal, the lion doesn't want that animal to go to heaven. I mean, it may sound a little bit funny, but no, the lion wants to eat that animal for lunch, breakfast, or dinner. That's called praying. So why would I want anybody to pray for me or pray on me? All right. Now, don't allow cognitive dissonance to kick in now. and you go back to thinking, well, hey, chief, it's spelled differently, right? Hmm. Well, let me give you an example. If you didn't know what I was talking about, and I say, hey, let's go pray. Hmm. What do you think I'm talking about? Are you going to assume I'm talking about Pray? How do you know I'm not talking about Prey? And my intentions really is to go pray on people. How do you know that? Mm, okay. What if I say, hey, you know what? I have a pear. How do you know what pear I'm talking about? Am I talking about Pair? Am I talking about Pear? Am I talking about Peer? You see, that's the English language for you. It's a language of confusion. So when the Bible speaks about the so-called God come down and they spoke all these different languages and or dialects, so to speak, right? And God confounded the language. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. All that stuff is allegory. You feel me? Well, they spoke one language and God made them speak different languages. No. All right. You have two forms of Babel, or the towers of Babel. It is all allegory. You have, they will not tell you this, you have the Tower of Babel where we spoke the same language. Then because of generation, okay, different cultures, different clans, different tribes, different languages had to be created. So that's a form of Babel. And then you had another form of Babel where the Lord God went around the world and make sure everybody learned English. You see what I'm saying? So again, everything is allegory, but we're not going to spend too much time on this. All right. I just want to kind of break down again what the English language does when it comes to spelling. How do we manifest? The first thing you have to understand is this. Grand Rising Coach Gang, Grand Rising Georgina Brown. Let me see, who else do we have? We have Big Up Chief Flying. Okay, Coach Gang. Oh, no doubt. What's going on, Lineage? All right. So when we talk about manifestation, how do things manifest? Well, first, I want you to go back to being a child, right? Go back to being a child. When a child is put in a nursery, all right, or in a room, a playroom, normally that child is given blocks. Let's say blocks, for example, right? A big bin of blocks. And that child goes into that bin and the child takes different blocks and the child make an attempt to create things. Now the child will take certain blocks and put together and dismount or dislodge things and put it back together until the child is satisfied with a smile. You feel me? That is part of the creative process. But where did all the things come from for that child in order for the child to ignite its creative abilities? It came from the bin. You see, everything was already in the bin for the child to create. It's the same thing with us as the gods. We created the universe and everything therein. But however, the creative process in terms of manifestation comes from what's already within the universe. So the bin is a micro universe in essence. Okay? And the universe is the macro version of the all. So when we speak of the all, we are talking about all the individual I ams within one unit of an avatar. Now I'm gonna, simplify that so it makes sense to you and for you, for those of you who haven't seen any of my videos and you don't know what the hell or what the heaven I'm talking about, right? Each individual, once again, that's why you're called individual. Okay, remember the last part of that word is all. Okay, so it deals with the all, but it begins with in. It ends with all. So therefore, the all, within the all, we are talking about something that's in the all, and something happened within the all. What happened? Let's look in the middle of the word. Dividual or divide. So divide is between in and all. So what happened was the all manifested, and within the all, the in, which is the I am, the in, the God within you, had to divide from the all. in the flesh, only in the flesh. It's only a physical manifestation. So therefore, God is individualized in your avatar. You feel me? It is really that simple. Now, with that being said, we are the only ones that were made manifest, that have that level of intelligence and that level of discernment. In other words, we are the only ones who actually are able, or who is cognizant of, what they call free will. Okay? Other things just will. Animals have will. Okay, they don't have the discernment to make the decisions that we do on such a level of intelligence. All right, that's how special you are. You are the ones, we are the ones that became like the gods because of the knowledge of will and free will. You feel me? So we have to go back to the book, the allegorical book, in order to comprehend these things. The allegorical, and I'm saying allegorical because it was not real, it was meant to symbolize something, to represent something. So the allegorical Adam and Eve, they already had the tree of life. The tree of life always existed because you are the tree of life. But within the tree of life, there was not the knowledge. Again, the knowledge or the awareness of good and evil. All right. It's only when the allegorical Adam and Eve, okay, ate. When we say eat, because when you look at the word eat, what do we say? Whatever you eat, you become. Whatever you eat, you become. So what they did, they partook or they ate of the tree of good and evil, and that's how the gods and the Lord said, hey, man has become one of us. Now, if the Lord God said that you have become one of them, what does that mean? You became a god, because you became, you developed the knowledge, or you became aware of the knowledge of good and evil. All right. What does that have to do with manifestation? Because you could either manifest good or you could manifest evil, because why? You are a god, but you are just an individual god that's divided from the all within yourself. Now, once again, let me give you the example. If 7 billion people on this planet were to just fall and die physically, meaning that the flesh were to just die, deteriorate and die, guess what? The I am in that individual, guess what? Would still be alive because it's eternal. So all the 7 billion I ams in that avatar will leave the physical body that just died and go back to a holding, what we call dimension, because not everybody came from the same frequency, you feel me, or from the same source. Put it that way, because you have a negative source and you have a positive source, you have a good source and you have a bad source. So when it goes into the holding cell, the ones that's good go back to the good source, and the ones that's evil go back to the evil source. And that has always been, it has always been. But when we created, and I say we, yes, when we created the universe, don't let anybody fool you and spook you and to make you think there's a man in the sky with a long beard sitting down waiting for people and judging people. That's not true. That's an illusion. It is an illusion. You see, we created a perfect system. It wasn't perfect at first, because when we created, or we were going through the creative process, we went through trials and error. And that's why the allegorical book says in Genesis chapter 1, when God was creating, then God saw it was all good. Well, let me ask you a question. How do you know it was good if you don't know what bad is? What did you compare good to? So obviously when we the gods, of course not in this physical form, when we were creating, we made errors, if we want to call it errors, because again, the English language is a very strange and confusing language. But we created things that were, for lack of a better term, because of the English language, imperfect. It was not deemed all good. So we had to go through trial and error until we got it. And we said, wow, man, it's all good. Same example with a baby. Let's go back to a baby. When that baby is in that room of where the bean is at, with all the blocks, and the baby, creative juices started to flow, and the baby's creating, and the baby gets frustrated because certain things you're putting together, it's not coming together, it's not sticking together. The baby gets frustrated, even throwing toys around, throwing a tantrum. But then the baby come back and say, I'm not gonna give up. I don't give up. That's not within my nature. I'm gonna keep doing it until I create something that I am satisfied with, until I think it's all good. And the baby goes back to the bean and start creating and doing and doing and doing. All of a sudden, the baby starts to smile. Now, you as a grown adult looking at me like, man, listen, what you just created, it looked like a bunch of nonsense. But within the baby's mind, it's a good creation because the baby is now satisfied. So that's what happened in Genesis chapter 1. You feel me? So now we created a perfect system, which is the universe. And within the universe, everything is already willed. Why? Because we said, let there be. It was the will of we, the gods. And again, when I say we, the gods, I'm not talking about as we are in this physical flesh. You see, the physical body cannot comprehend things of the spiritual realm. You have to see things from a God perspective to know that you are God. You dig? So therefore, we created a universe where everything is already willed, where everything is already in abundance, and we had it in abundance. But because we had to go further, not into generation, but into degeneration, all right, we had to become aware of what we created. We were not aware of it. Yes, it was created. We saw it for what it is, for what it was. You feel me? But we did not have the consciousness of the experience in what we created. And the only way to experience those things, we had to give ourselves free will. How did we achieve that? By eating of the tree of good and evil. Yes, we were gods. We were just not aware we were gods. You feel me? So with this entire universe, everything is already there, my brothers and sisters. Okay? So when you put things out there in the universe, meaning that when you will things, how do you will things? By spoken words. When you will things, that's how they are manifest. Because everything is created or formed or manifested in the spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical realm. Hence, the word became flesh. So you have to be very mindful when you put things out there into this verse, into this universe. Is like a song. Why do you think music, okay, is used as a tool of enslavement, as a tool of destruction? Why? Because you are dealing with verses of a song. That's how important music is. You're dealing with vibrations and frequencies, and in every verse has vibrations and frequencies. But here's the thing about the secret about the universe that a lot of people aren't teaching you, is that within the universe only deals with will, and the universe doesn't deal with free will. What does that mean? In other words, the universe is not cognizant, is not aware of whether things are good or things are bad. The universe is not aware of that. So whenever you put things out there in the universe gives you exactly what you ask for. Exactly what you ask for. Deem it good or bad. Whether you know the word is a spell word or not, the universe doesn't know the difference. You feel me? Typical example, when you say good morning or when you say morning, the universe don't know what you mean. The universe don't know what you mean, grand rising. The universe doesn't know that. All the universe knows is that you said morning. Now, it is spelled, as far as you're concerned, here goes the spell again, morning, morning, right? And then you may think, well, hey, Chief, it's different from mourning. The spelling is insignificant when it comes to the physical, appearance of the words. Is the vibration and frequency that it carries. Okay? So when you put moaning out there, the universe is going to give you a reason to moan. And because people moan when people die. So you're literally attracting death, but you don't know that, right? So that's exactly how the universe operates, my brothers and sisters. You have to know exactly what you are saying. That's why you have to be specific. And you cannot just use general words or general terms. The universe is not general, the universe is very specific. You see, I'm teaching you how to have things in abundance, I'm teaching you how to manifest things the correct way. Okay, not in a general way, but in a specific way, because you see, we are the ones that shape our lives. We shape everything that's within this reality. In other words, a redoing, a remaking of reality is reality. But of course, it is a false illusion. It's an assimilation of the truth. And that's cool because that's the way the physical body perceives things. You feel me? So there's nothing wrong with that, but you just have to know the difference. You feel me? So be very specific with the universe. Zig Ziglar has a saying, stop being a wandering generality and be a meaningful specific. And that is so profound because he comprehend, or he understood exactly how to make things manifest in the universe. All right? But I'm going to even take it further. And here's another thing that a lot of people aren't teaching, is that there are two sources of what we call God. Okay? You have the good God and you have the evil God. It's all that stuff is in the allegorical Bible. All that stuff is in the Quran. They're just not telling you the truth. So you have the good God and you have the evil God. Okay? And both of them will make things a reality for you when you call out, when you speak, when you will things. You feel me? And that's where people are actually going wrong. You feel me? So when you say your affirmations, what you call praying, okay, or you want to make things manifest, you have to, not you don't have to, but I would implore you to make sure you use righteous before the word God. Why is this important? Because there is an unrighteous God and there is a righteous God. My brothers and sisters, now, I'm not going to ask you to believe me, because anytime I ask you to believe me, I'm telling you a lie, because in the word belief is the word lie. I don't deal with belief systems. I deal with knowing. And that's why so many religious people, over 90 something percent of the world has a religion. And even the Bible did say that the broad path will lead to destruction. So therefore, if over 90 something percent of the world has a religion, that is the broad path. And the book told them, man, your broad path is going to lead you to destruction, but the narrow path. You see, I'm taking you through the narrow path, the narrow gate. And within the narrow gate, there's going to be struggles because you may need to lose some weight. You might be too fat to go through that gate. So you have to lose some weight. In other words, you have to do the work. You have to do your due diligence for you to be able to go through that gate. You dig? But how do you go through that gate without knowing who or what the supreme most high of the creators of the universe? You have to be specific. I see a lot of people always talking about the most high. Which most high are you talking about? But again, you cannot teach education people that are educated these things. They look at you like you're the crazy one. And you'll realize that over 90% of the people who have a religion, they struggle. They get sick with disease, mental ailments. They are always broke. They're always suffering. Now, why is that? Why is that? And you know what the people who created these religious books, they tell you? They say, well, hey, you know what? It's okay to be poor and broke now. You know, when you die, when you go meet this God in the Bible, then your riches will be waiting on you. Now, does that make any sense at all? You came here in a world of abundance. Hold on for a second. What up, nephew? You out? Where your daddy's upstairs? All right, cool. All right, travel safe. You heard? All right. So, does that even make sense? That you were made, we created a world of abundance, not a world, but an earth, a universe with abundance. But yet still, you came and manifest in the flesh not to have things in abundance. Something happened to take away that abundance. As you could see in Genesis chapter 1, we had everything in abundance, but in Genesis chapter 2, we didn't. Why is that? Because there was a degeneration of that man. where that man had to till the ground, work for what's yours. Hmm? So how do we get back to having things in abundance? You know how? We have to acknowledge the gods in Genesis chapter 1 and let go of the God in Genesis chapter 2. That is the evil God. Now, again, you believe what you want. I don't do belief systems. So when you are saying those affirmations, what you call praying, you have to reach out, or I suggest you reach out to the righteous gods and not just say God or just say Most High. Put the word righteous in front of Most High. You have to be specific. Now, I'm giving y'all truth. Do what you want with the information. You dig? That's how you start making changes. Okay? That's how you start manifesting things with a purpose, with that's meaningful, to get on the righteous path. You have to ask the righteous gods to guide you. Don't just say God. The universe don't know what the hell you're talking about. You feel me? The universe is just gonna say, okay, you reach out to the God, man, you know what? Let me just give you things from the evil God. Because the universe don't know, you wasn't specific. It's like throwing a dice. You throw in the dice hoping you hit 7 or 11. You feel me? That's why when people throw dice, they are specific. They say, hey, 7, 11, right? They are willing that into existence. Okay? You don't just want to take paint and throw it against the wall and then hopefully you create a perfect picture painting. No, you have to take the brush. You have to be artistic, and you have to take your time and go ahead and do your drawings and paint and use your imagination. That's being specific. It is the same thing with the universe, my brothers and sisters. You cannot just say, well, God, you cannot just say Most High. No, man, that you're still indoctrinated and you think you woke. No, you're still dead. You're not woke. You're still dead. You're not woke. And I don't care what name you give the entity, it doesn't make a difference. Because now you're going to have to prove to me that we have been on this earth for millions of years and the name is actually this. How do you go to a lion and ask the lion, what is the name of God? That's interesting. How do you go to a plant and ask the plant what's the name of God? Because the plant knows that God doesn't have a name. The lion knows that God doesn't have a name. He just knows that God is, it just is. It's not a male, it's not a female. Now, for you to say he, like most indoctrinated people, and a lot of you that's listening to this and are going to hear this, you are one of the indoctrinated ones because you use the term he. That means that you are assuming God is a male. And for your sisters that might say, well, hey, it's not a male, it's a she. No, it's not either. You are still indoctrinated and lost. Because anytime you start giving gender to your God, that means that you are serving a demigod. The source doesn't have a gender. It doesn't. You feel me? So it would behoove you to use, again, righteous in front the God that you're reaching out to. Okay? The righteous God. Again, that may not make sense to some people, but it's all right though. Maybe it's not your time to get this message. But for those who want to take it, you see you're there already, but you still need a little bit of, inner standing. I'm just breaking that down to you because you see, we already have everything in abundance. We are not supposed to be working. Working came in Genesis chapter 2 with this other Adam that was created that had to till the ground. Tilling the ground means you have to work. You are a slave. You are a robot. All right? We're not supposed to be working. Now, mind you, I'm not telling you, hey, go quit your job. No, you have things to do. You got to take care of your loved ones. I get that. But that's not the way it was supposed to be. We came here, again, going into degeneration was part of the experience. But now that you have gone through the cycle, now it's time to get back into having things in abundance. So we have to put ourselves in a position where we are not working anymore. But you have to work towards that. And it's going to be tough individually. But collectively, we could make it happen. Because, again, remember the all. We keep forgetting the word all. The word all is a collective. So you want to continue to be individuals. We have to give up the in divide within the all. We have to give up that concept and stop calling ourselves individuals and start calling ourselves the all. It's the only way to bring back the all into manifestation. If you want to continue to be an individual, then you'll always be divided within the all. And therefore, your God is always the one of divine individuality. Now, I don't know who I'm speaking to at this rising, but I hope you're hearing me. It is the only way to bring back ality. It is the only way to bring back the earth that we knew of abundance and get rid of the matrix, the world that was created by this other God, the Lord God, where you had to work and slave and eat by the sweat of your brow. That was not always our reality. But we had to go through that because it was part of the experience. We signed up for this. Everything that you're going through, you signed up for it, be it good or bad. You just don't remember because you forgot that you were a God. But I'm here to remind you that you are a God. You are not God, but you are a God. And what's the difference? The collective, the all is God, but you are a God within the collective. The only difference is we are divided. And it's a mental thing. You could still be in your avatar and still be part of the all or be within the all and not be divided from the all. You feel me? And I tell people words are very, very, very important because you see, words give life or death. The power of life or death is in the tongue. You dig? So with that being said, we have to be very mindful. I hear a lot of people are saying that they are divine. And I've broken this down before, but I'm going to go over it again for the purpose of this lesson. A lot of people are saying that they are divine. They serve a divine God. Well, maybe you do, but I don't. I do not acknowledge or honor. Put it that way. I acknowledge, but I don't honor the God of divine. Because when you are divine, it means that you are disconnected. You see, my brothers and sisters, man, a trick was played on man. And when I say man, that includes the male man and the female man, because that's all there is. We are all womb man because we came from the womb of a man. So when you hear the Bible speaks of man, a lot of sisters feel left out because, well, how did the woman came from the man? You see, again, you do not comprehend. You have no understanding. And that's why I know people are claimed woke, but they are not woke. You're still asleep. Because for all you, my sisters, you are actually, you are not, yes, you are a woman, but I'm also a woman as well because I came from the womb. But I'm a man. We all came from the womb of a man, and that's what you can't comprehend. A man is not a gender. A man is not a he or a she. They got y'all jacked up. Man is just man, and within man there is male and female. So you are the ones with the vagina. You are a female man, and me, the one with a penis. Those are the terms that were used to differentiate the sexes. So be it. I am a male man, and you are a female man. But collectively, we are womb man because we all came from the womb of a man. No, I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm just giving you the damn truth. So to all you sisters, stop with the egotistical bullshit. And to all you brothers, the same. Stop with the egotistical bullshit. You have no idea what you're talking about. You feel me? We all came from man. Each and every one of us. We came from the womb of man. And stop thinking of man as a gender. Man is not a gender in terms of separation of sexes. You feel me? So, with that being said, we must get the true knowledge of things before we start telling people, well, this is the truth. No, you're dealing with a belief system. That's what you believe. Now, you may say, well, Chief, that could be your belief. No, it's not my belief. If you study and you study well, study to show yourself approved. It's in the allegorical book. You will see the truth. You will hear the truth, and you will know the truth, because it's right there in the book. In all those religious books, the truth is in there, but it becomes dangerous when you don't get it. So that's how you manifest and make changes in your life. All right. And not just changes, I'm talking about changes for the best, changes for abundance. You have to reach out, or you should reach out to the righteous aspect in creation, the righteous aspect in manifestation. Put the word righteous in front of Most High. Put the word righteous in front of God. Okay. And I promise you, I'm not telling you I think or I believe, I know things will start changing in your life. Because why? Now you are being meaningful, specific. Okay. And you have to do it with authority. You have to do it like you know it already is, because everything already happened. You see, tomorrow already happened. The physical body is just waiting to experience it. 2024 already happened. But the physical body, or the consciousness, is just waiting to experience it. 2030 already happened. But the physical body, the consciousness, is waiting to experience it. You dig? It is really that simple, but yet still it's complicated. Like Lauryn Hill said, it could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. And it's okay, because it was supposed to be hard until you learn the truth about who you are. Then it becomes easier. And then you grow into consciousness, and you grow into who you truly are, and then it becomes easy. Having life in abundance, having everything in abundance, because that was what, when we first manifested here, we had everything in abundance. Everything. But all of that had to be taken away. You see, that was the price that was paid, to forget that you were a God, to forget that you came from an earth with abundance. So an illusion had to be created to tell you have to work to have things in abundance. No, we're not supposed to be working for anything. So you see, we have to work towards that, my brothers and sisters. And guess what? It's ironic we have to use the word work to work for abundance in that a bi. See how the English language is? It's crazy. So we have to stop being reactive and be proactive. Be proactive is the only way it's going to happen. It's the only way it's going to happen. All right. But it starts with the words. It starts with the word, knowing that you already have this thing. Speak like it already existed. Speak like it already happened, because it already did. So now you're pulling it out of that little box, like you were a child again. You're pulling it out of the universe, like you are the God that you already are. You just forgot that you are. You see, on my journey, I had to acknowledge that I am is already in me. And at the age of 6, here sitting in a church with people screaming and stamping and crying and speaking these tongues and all these different things and calling on all these different names. At the age of 6, within my being, I knew something was wrong, and it just did not resonate with my spirit soul. So I became rebellious, and I didn't want to go to church. Okay? I didn't want to go to church. And I would literally get what we call in the island licks. I'm certainly sure it's probably used in the US as well. Licks is when your parents take a belt and whoop your butt for whatever reason, but not just whooping you, like whooping you to the point where it's called licks. Okay? Okay? And you know what? Because going to church was mandatory in my house. But at some point, I got older, and I told myself, you know what? I would rather take the licks than go to church. And I made myself, immune to taking licks, because I didn't want to go to church. But when I was old enough, I graduated from high school at a very young age, so to speak. And I left. And I told y'all this story before. I had a choice to go to England, or I had a choice to go to the United States. The only reason why I didn't go to England, because my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunts, my uncles, they had already migrated to England. Because you see, that's what these foreign colonizers do. Well, if they're foreign, they're colonizers. So that's an oxymoron. But that's what these colonizers do. They take our best so that we could make them better. All right, I'm going to repeat that. They take our best to make themselves better. Okay, and when I speak of colonizers, again, please do not go back into your lower nature and think colonizers has a color. It doesn't. All right. Colonizers came in all shapes and forms and colors in terms of complexion. Like I told y'all before, I don't play these color games. All right. So let's get back on point. So I made the decision not to go to England because we have a saying here in Dominica. When people go to England and they come back to Dominica, they come back crazy for some reason. England, the atmosphere in England makes people crazy. So I said, nah, I'm going to go to the United States. But I knew it was something deeper than that because I always felt different. Yes, I arrived. And when I say I arrived, meaning that another word that they use, born, I was born in Dominica, but I felt like I never fit in. I was always different. Everybody always told me I was different. At some point, like even in ignorance, some of my friends would think, "Oh, you're an American," talking about United States. And mind you, I never really watched TV. It was just something that was in me. What do they mean by that? It wasn't until I got older it all made sense. When the ancestors was preparing me to come into the United States to teach my brothers and sisters, to restore my brothers and sisters. I wasn't, you see, that's why I said your purpose is already set in motion. It's already set in stone. You just have to find your purpose. It's already given to you. You knew it's in you. You are just not aware. You feel me? So when I came into the United States, still, the island young man or the island boy, I would tell people, good morning. At that time, I was saying good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, because that's part of our culture. You never pass people in the streets, whether young, old, your age, you always say hi. That's something that we still do. And it's amazing that they still do it here. So that's beautiful. All right. Still a natured people. Okay. But people was like, hold up, you're not from here, are you? I'm like, no, what do you mean? They're like, well, you're so polite. And I'm not insinuating that my brothers and sisters in the United States are not polite. Okay. But I'm talking about in New York, particular, people don't tell people hi. People don't tell people good morning. And again, I'm saying morning at that time, right? People don't say good afternoon, good evening. Everybody just pass each other straight. But I couldn't do that. I would help my elders because that's how I was raised. You feel me? But at one point, I was like, okay, you know what, Chief? Something isn't coherent. Something isn't right. So how do you find out the truth? So I started to seek. Even when I got in relationships, I was always studying. I was always searching. And then after I search, I would research. You see, most people want to research without even searching. That's crazy, huh? You haven't searched, but how can you research now? You have to search first, then research to solidify the information, right? And then it dawned on me, well, you're not the flesh. And I'm talking about years ago, okay? You are not the flesh. So what moves the flesh? Because a lot of people think they are the flesh. And that's when I started differentiating that there is something in me that's not me. And when I say me, meaning the flesh. And then all of a sudden, that something in me said, hey, you have to reach out to me in order to see things. And that's what the Bible meant when the allegorical Jesus said, in order to get to the Father, you have to come through the Son. And I just didn't know what that meant until I sought clarification. So guess what I started doing? I started talking to the higher self and telling the higher self in me, teach me how to be like you. And my brothers and sisters, it's been years, over 20 something years, I found the truth. I found the I am, because the I am started teaching me how to be like the I am. And then I realized there is two sources. There's two entities in me, one good and one bad, or one evil. And literally, it's by my actions that will manifest either or either. And it made the world of difference to me because I finally got it. So now I started being more specific, and I started growing into who I already was. Because you see, we were born who we are. You feel me? You don't become a God. Now you are already a God. The question is, are you righteous or are you unrighteous? You feel me? And then you see, once you know the truth and you are aware of which God that you are, in other words, which one of the sources or the seeds that you came from, the evil source or the righteous source, then you cannot escape your nature. That's why some people just have to do evil, because they came from the evil source, the evil God. You feel me? And yes, some of us that came from the good source, we were tricked, okay? And you may do some evil things, but that's not your nature. That's not your nature. So eventually you will come back home. You feel me? But once you identify what source that you came from, then guess what? It's very, very difficult to go back on the other side. That's why it says that you cannot serve two gods at one time. You cannot serve the good God and the evil God at the same time, because guess what? No two things could occupy the same space. It's impossible. So once I identified that and I started stepping up into who I truly am, again, it made the world of difference. And it's a beautiful thing. You feel me? Now, it doesn't mean as a good, righteous God, you're not going to experience things that are unrighteous. You will experience it. There's nothing wrong with that. But you see, that's when the strength of knowing that you are a righteous God comes in, because you know it's all an illusion. So what do you say? You say, "Get thou behind me, Satan," because it's not real. The adversary cannot take hold of you because now you know who you are. And once you get this, my brothers and sisters, I promise you, nobody could lie to you. Nobody could fool you. Nobody can brainwash you. You will start having things in abundance. It will take some time, right? Because we live in a third dimensional realm. Sometimes it takes time for things to manifest, but it's going to happen faster because the earth, the frequency of the earth it's been sped up. Okay. So things are happening faster than they were happening, let's say, 20, 30, 50 years ago. So I just wanted to come share that bit of information with you. The universe is our oyster. We created the universe to give us things in abundance, but we have to be very mindful when we are manifesting things. You see, in the word manifestation, what's the first word in manifestation? Guess what it is? Man. Interesting. There's no need to say woman festing. No, it's manifestation. You don't have to say woman manifestation. No, because there's only man. And within man, there's male man and female man. So my sisters, don't feel left out. Don't let your emotions or your ignorance make you feel envy and jealousy. Okay, you see, we're not supposed to be feeling these things because you don't know who you are. We are all women, each and every one of us. I'm a woman because I came from the womb of man. And once you know the truth, only the truth will set you free. Not some of the truth. There's no such thing. If it's some of it, then it's not the truth. Truth is truth. All right? So with that being said, I'm wishing y'all an amazing 24. I actually got to step out. I got to head into town today. I want to see if I could get a rental, or I may just have to take a bus. But I did pick some coconuts earlier, all right, because there is things in abundance. All right. So I have, let me see. I picked it from that tree right here. Okay. I have 2, 4, 6 coconuts. I'm gonna probably eat 3 of them right now, drink 3 of the jelly, and then I'm gonna eat the meat of 3 of them. I'm gonna save 3 of them for later. You see, that's how we're supposed to live. And that's why I was sent. I know my purpose. That's why I was summoned, put it that way, by my ancestors to come to the US. And that's why I tell people, you have no idea who I am, but you're going to learn. You see, like I told y'all before, the allegorical Jesus or Yeshua did not come for worship. Worship means work. That's what worship means, work. Okay? But after you have done, there's nothing wrong in worshiping because it means work. But after you have done the work, you have to stop working and become. All right? That's what worship means, work. You feel me? I mean, I will see if I could get the exact word for worship in Hebrew. I think it's naba. I think. How you doing, brother? I think that's what it is, but don't quote me on that. All right, but when it's all said and done, worship in Hebrew means work. Okay, work. So there's nothing wrong in worshiping, okay? Because you're always working towards. But when you find yourself, you don't have to worship, but you acknowledge. See, there's a difference. So I acknowledge the gods, but I don't worship no damn God because I'm a God. You feel me? So I acknowledge, I honor other gods. See, there's a difference. You dig? So with that being said, the allegorical Jesus, Yeshua, whatever term you want to use, it makes no damn difference, did not come to teach you how to worship in that sense. They came, and again, allegorically speaking, it was all symbolic. They came to teach you how to become the Christ or become aware that you are the Christ. But to become the Christ, you have to raise yourself to a certain vibration on a certain frequency. You feel me? So the allegorical Jesus was not the Christ. The allegorical Yeshua was not the Christ. Okay? However, Yeshua and Jesus embodied the Christ. You dig? And that is the truth. So I'm about to go eat my coconuts. I will definitely touch base with y'all a little later. Y'all have an amazing 24. I love y'all. I'm about to go have some coconuts because we have them in abundance. All right? So y'all have a good one, man. This is your brother, Chief Kalinago. We'll talk soon. All right.